Next item, item I, first review of revisions to Administrative Guideline 5114, Foreign Exchange Students, and Policy 7510, Use of District Facilities. And this is a first review. It will come back, but I don't know if you want to highlight anything now, Mrs. Zardi.
I would point out that we are bringing forward an administrative guideline, which is not typically done, but because the change that we're suggesting in the guideline is one that we want to make sure all board members are comfortable with. In regard to our foreign exchange students, in the past, we've only given an honorary diploma and a certificate of completion, and we have checked around in other school districts, and many school districts in our area do grant a regular high school diploma to their foreign exchange students who are seniors and whose transcripts from their previous school match up so that they fulfill our graduation requirements. So we are recommending that if we have exchange students who successfully complete their senior year here in the Toma School District and their transcripts show that they meet all of the graduation requirements for Toma High School, that they be granted a regular high school diploma so they can go back to their communities and move on to the college level rather than having to spend a year in transition.
And the thought is it's not unlike a student from another state or another school transferring their senior year to here. If they meet all the requirements, then they can get a diploma. It's not much different from that.
Okay.
And do you know if, like some of the ones we've have now, that they could possibly receive a diploma? Do they have you looked at credits to see if they are similar to what we require?
That hasn't, as far as I know, that has not been done and will not be done until this is passed, until this is a reality or not.
But I'm just wondering, other countries, when you look at what they require and what we require, I mean, do they match up fairly well so that, other school districts are?
I would say they must, because right on Alaska, Holman, there's a number of school districts in our CISA area that grant the high school diploma, so they have found that there are matches with that. English is required in many foreign countries, so they do have 4 years of English. Math, science, and social studies,
So then, if this is approved at some point, when they are coming over, they sign up for classes, they really need to be looking at maybe what classes it would take to finish out to get a diploma from here?
If that's of interest to them. Yes.
And when they meet with the guidance counselors, it really depends on whether, if they come, like when we send our students out to other, we tell them what they need to do to complete their requirements in the other schools. They may or may not do that, or may not have that opportunity in those schools, but they leave here knowing that if they do A, B, C, D, they will get this credit, that credit, and that credit. Okay, so when the students come here, they have similar ideas. Some come here and this year isn't going to count anything back home. And so they can take classes that aren't so science heavy or things like that. But some come here knowing that they're going back and they need a heavy schedule here going back. It varies from student to student. Does that help at all?
I guess the concern is that they would come in knowing that that's a possibility for them and that our guidance counselors are prepared to help direct them down that line too.
And I don't know about other exchange programs, but the one I'm involved in, we now with email, communication is much easier beforehand, and there's a lot of talk or email back and forth about what the expectations are here and what they need, and back and forth. So communication ahead of time is, I'm assuming that's in all, but it may not be, but I know in ours it is. Like if they want to be in a fall sport, school may start in September, but the sports start in August, and they wouldn't know that to come that early unless we have that communication.
So we're not approving it tonight. If there are
Right.
concerns or questions that come up, just give me a call and I can follow up with some of the other schools in the area to see how they respond to whatever that issue may be. So.
Anything else?